Before we begin, I want to say this gently, not as a demand, not as a pitch, but if this podcast has supported you, if you keep finding yourself coming back, if something in your body settles when you listen, make sure you're following, subscribing, or saved wherever you're listening, not because of algorithms, but because this work builds over time. This season is designed to be listened to in a sequence. It's meant to layer, to repeat, to rewire. And staying connected matters for that. Now, let's arrive properly. Take a slow breath in through your nose and a long breath out through your mouth. Welcome to the Sacred Shit Show. This is season 4, and this season is called Sacred Living. Today, we are talking about something that shapes your nervous system long before you've even thought about it: your environment. Your nervous system is constantly scanning, not just people, not just situations, but space. It's reading light levels, visual clutter, noise, movement, temperature, predictability, exits, and privacy. Before your mind wakes up in the morning, your body has already decided, do I need to be alert here? Can I soften? Is this place asking something of me? This is not a flaw. This is survival intelligence. But most people are trying to regulate themselves inside environments that keep their nervous system on guard. And then wondering, why are they exhausted? There is a very present myth in spirituality and self-help spaces that if you just think positively enough, breathe deeply enough, or meditate long enough, you should be able to regulate yourself anywhere. But this myth ignores the body, because the nervous system does not respond to belief. It responds to input. If your environment is loud, chaotic, cluttered, unpredictable, or constantly interrupted, your nervous system will stay partially activated. Even if you're used to it, even if you cope. Coping is not regulation. Coping is endurance. Sacred living is not about enduring your life. It's about creating conditions your body doesn't have to fight. I want to speak honestly here. There were periods of my life where my environment was shaped entirely by survival. Noise, shared spaces, no privacy, no consistent landing point. And my nervous system adapted beautifully by staying alert. What I didn't realize at the time was how expensive that constant alertness was. Because when your environment never signals safety, your body never fully powers down. You rest, but you don't recover. When I began to gently work with my environment, not to perfect it, not to aestheticize it, but to soften it, my body responded immediately. Not emotionally, physically. My breath changed. My sleep shifted. My baseline dropped. And that's when I understood. Environment is not background. It's active regulation. So let's get this clear and practical. Your nervous system is not asking for perfection. It's asking for readability. It needs to know where things are what to expect, where it can rest, and where it can withdraw. 3 core needs matter most. Predictability, which is not the same of familiarity. Containment, spaces that don't leak energy or demand vigilance. And choice, the ability to move, pause, retreat, or engage. You don't need a bigger home. You don't need a quieter life. You need one place your nervous system recognizes as safe. Even a single chair, corner, or surface can become an anchor. Overstimulation is not weakness, it's cumulative input. Too much noise, visual information, movement, decision-making, and interruption. Over time, the nervous system stops distinguishing between what matters and what doesn't, and then everything feels urgent. That's why clutter isn't a moral failing, it's a sensory overload. And when your environment is overloaded, your nervous system is working overtime just to exist inside it. This is especially true for neurodivergent nervous systems, trauma-adapted bodies, people living in chronic pain, parents, and caregivers. Sacred living begins when we stop asking ourselves to handle environments that are too much. Before we go any further, let's take a brief pause here. I'll be back in a moment, but we're going to hear from our lovely in-house fairy resident, Herbal Moonbeam.
Dear listener, it's me, Herbal Moonbeam, guardian of the green, listener to the wisdom that lives in bodies, and your gentle guide here at the Strange Apothecary. While our host steps away to tend her tea, let me settle beside you for a moment. Have you felt it lately? That deep, steady fatigue that rest alone doesn't touch. The sense that your body has slowed the pace, not because you failed, but because it needed safety more than speed. When the body hits the brakes, it isn't rebellion, it's intelligence. And that low hum inside you, the one whispering there must be another way to live, isn't dissatisfaction, it's memory. This is where the Sacred Portal opens. The Sacred Portal is a 6-month group-held multidimensional healing journey for those who are done trying to heal in isolation and done being told they should already be over it. Together, over 6 months, we move slowly and deliberately through the 5 layers that shape your lived experience: body, mind, energy, soul, and spirit. Not to ascend out of life, but to finally feel safe inside it. Inside the portal, there is no fixing, no pressure to perform healing the right way, no bypassing the body in favour of insight. Instead, we work with somatic rituals that teach your nervous system it no longer has to stay on guard, subconscious patterning that softens survival without ripping it away, energy work that clears what never belonged to you, and soul remembrance that doesn't hype you up, it settles you back into. This container is held as one group, one path, one shared rhythm. Because healing doesn't happen through hierarchy, it happens through safety, witnessing, and regulation in relationship. The Sacred Portal isn't for those chasing a better version of themselves, it's for those ready to stop leaving themselves behind. The portal is now open for enrolment. One path, one group, 6 months of being held in a way most systems never taught you was possible. And because we honour the land that carries us, every enrolment plants a tree, rooting your healing into something living. And so if your body feels quieter as you listen, if something in you has softened instead of tensed, that's not coincidence. You already recognise this pace. Visit thesacredportal.co.uk or follow the link waiting for you in the show notes. The Sacred Portal. You were never broken, your system was protecting you. Now then, sweet soul, my wings are beginning to shimmer, which means it's time to drift gently back into your journey.
Beautiful. Thank you, Herbal. So let's bring you into your body now. You don't need to change anything. Just notice. Let your eyes move slowly around the space that you're in. Notice one thing that your body feels neutral about. Notice one thing that feels supportive or calming. Notice one thing your body reacts to, even subtly. No judgment, just information. Your nervous system has been tracking this all along. We're simply listening. Your environment is part of your routine. You wake up into it, you move through it, you end your day inside it, which means working with your space is one of the most powerful sacred routines available. Not through cleaning sprees, not through perfection, but through tiny, repeatable adjustments. One softened light, one cleared space, one predictable landing place. That's enough to shift frequency. Your environment is not neutral. It is a constant nervous system input. You are not failing to regulate. You may be regulating inside conditions that make it impossible. Let's talk about clutter, but without shame, because clutter has been moralized. It's been framed as laziness, as failure, as something you should be able to manage if you were more disciplined, more motivated, more together. But that framing is deeply unhelpful, because clutter is not a moral issue, it's a capacity issue. When life demands more than your nervous system can process, things pile up. Objects, paper, decisions, and unfinished tasks. Each unfinished thing holds a small amount of attention. And over time, your environment becomes a visual reminder of everything you haven't had the capacity to complete. Your nervous system reads that as I'm behind. There's too much. I need to stay alert. This is why clutter creates background anxiety, even if you're used to it. Sacred living is not about clearing everything. It's about reducing the nervous system's workload. Another myth that we need to dismantle: that regulation comes after the big clear out. That once you've reorganized, decluttered, deep cleaned, reset everything, then you'll feel calm. But that approach only overwhelms the nervous system before it even begins, because a dysregulated system cannot plan, prioritize, or execute large projects safely. Sacred living flips the order. You don't regulate after the clear out. You clear from regulation, which means that we work small. One surface, one drawer, one predictable landing place. That's not avoidance, that's intelligence. Let's bring it back to routines. Your environment already has routines. Where you put your bag, where your keys land, where you sit, where you collapse at the end of the day. Those patterns are already regulating or dysregulating you. Sacred living doesn't ask you to invent new behaviours. It asks you to make existing patterns safer. For example, a consistent place to put things down. One surface kept intentionally clear. A chair or a corner that signals rest. A predictable end-of-day landing point. Your nervous system loves knowing where things go. Not because it's neat, but because it reduces scanning. And less scanning equals more regulation. And not everyone has the luxury of a quiet, spacious, controlled environment. Shared homes, children, limited space, pain days, and energy fluctuations. Sacred living does not demand ideal conditions. It works inside constraints. Sometimes the safest thing you can do is create one predictable spot, one softened light, and one routine that you will return to. That is not settling for less. That is working with reality. And reality is where regulation actually happens. Now let's come back into your body again. You don't need to move. Just imagine, gently, your living space. Without judgment, ask yourself, what is one small change my nervous system would notice? Not 10 things, one. It might be moving one object, clearing one surface, changing one light, creating one predictable place. Notice what your body responds to. That response is your guide. Sacred living is not about fixing everything. It's about responding to what your nervous system actually needs. Because your environment holds frequency, not in a mystical way, in a biological one. It tells your body, how alert do I need to be? How much can I soften? Can I rest here? You don't need to raise your frequency. You need to remove unnecessary fret. That's what sacred living looks like in real life. If this way of working resonates, I want you to know you don't have to figure this out on your own. Inside the Sacred Shit Show membership, this work becomes lived. Daily nervous system regulation prompts, supportive rhythms, community that understands real life constraints, and practices that build over time instead of burning you out. It's where sacred living stops being something you think about and starts becoming something you experience daily. You'll find the link wherever you're listening. There's no urgency, just an open door. Tomorrow, a spoken word imprint will be released. This imprint is designed to help your nervous system integrate what we've explored here, not through effort, but through repetition. Let it play quietly through your week. This episode was the understanding. The imprint is the settling. And take one final slow breath with me. I'll meet you tomorrow.